TV50 Sports presents Candlepin Stars and Strikes. This week, our number 3 seed, Jack Ray of Woburn, Massachusetts, takes on 3-time defending champion Steve Vadney of Claremont, New Hampshire. Hi, everybody, and once again from Sandy's in Wyndham, Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and welcome to Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And the same script today as it has been the last 2 or 3 weeks. We have Steve Vadney returning as champion, looking for another win. Well,
he's last week got away with 371. This week, I think, go up right on the line saying I think he's going to need a 400 to win. These two bowlers today, the backgrounds in each of them, they got the reputation, they got the ability. They're both WCBC pro bowlers. I'm looking for a real high-scoring match.
All right, let's meet them and take a look at the slow motions right now. First of all, our challenger, the number 3 seed from Woburn, Massachusetts. This is Jack Ray.
Well, Jack, as I mentioned last week, just came off the New England Sports Network show and hit 170, 172 back-to-back, and a 460 triple. And he's on the Pro Tour. He's been on for a number of years. He lost in our Pro Bowlers Classic, the Mixed Doubles Classic last spring. Lost in the finals with Sharon Rawson, so he's not very shy to the cameras. He's been here before, and he's got the credentials. All right, and as far as our champion goes, if you've been with us at all during the last 3 weeks, you know all about him, Steve Vadney from Claremont, New Hampshire. He has won 3 in a row. He now has an overall record of 5-2 on the program. Now, when you get away with hitting 371 here, a high-scoring house, he hit 371 and won the match, you stay a long time. He's hit his 400s when he's needed them, and he got away with last week with only 371, and his opponent wasn't quite up to that par, but this week I think he's going to need a lot more than 371 to win. It looks like he's ready through a strike in the warm-up, and that has been throwing a lot of them in the matches, too. We're going to tell you how you might be able to win some cash at home later in the program. Our home jackpot is up to $60 this week. Hope you have your postcards in the box. We'll be telling you the mailing address a little bit later on. Plenty of action coming up. We're going to start the match with the first string after these messages. Don't go away. Series, Steve Vadney having won a ladder championship already and is moving on the way toward another one possibly, as he is now into his 3rd week in this series, 4th overall, having beaten Rod Jarvis and then last week John Levy, and today Jack Ray, the number 3 seed, moves in, and Jack's ready to get us started on lane 32. Here at Sandy's, the home of Candlepin Stars and Strikes. And Jack had a bit of a problem on the approach, but was able to get a fairly good leave out of it. Slipping and sliding there.
Jack is from Woburn, Mass. And opens with a 10 box.
Not many bowlers any smoother than Jack Ray. He really releases that ball. Don't even hear it hit the lane.
Jack teamed up with Sharon Rawson in the Pro Bowlers Classic back in the spring, and Jack and Sharon won their first match, the quarterfinal round match, over Bill Treefel and Tony Marie Broussard with a 359. And then in the semifinals, Jack and Sharon lost to eventual champions Mike Poulin and Carol Downey, losing by just 9 pins, 353 to 344.
10 pin for a 10 box. No. 19 start for Jack Ray.
As we mentioned, this is Jack's first appearance with us in individual competition. And now Steve Vadney, who has won 3 in a row. Steve from Claremont, New Hampshire. Leaves the 10 pin.
Had the 1, 9, 10 and cleared out the 1 and 9, left the 10.
10 box for Steve to start it off. Steve started this streak with the ladder championship victory 3 weeks ago against John Waller, 407 to 363. Then it was a win over Rod Jarvis, 431 to 404. And then last week, Steve slipped to a 371, but it was enough to beat John Levy with a 346. Pair of 10s for Steven, and a 1-pin lead after 2. Carol Downey working the big scoreboard as always for us. Steve Decker is our lob line judge today.
Jack releases that ball, breaks a little bit from right to left. Here he's got 2-7-10. Mr. Wood coming out. Let's see if either try to split or go to the left side of the 2. That's the only shot he's going to have now. I thought the Wood might come into play. Well, comes up a little more. He can. No, I think he's got to go 2-pin. Left side 2-pin. Ball carry to 7. Nice try.
That would have looked great if it had gone. Runner-up in this week's match will receive a check for $75 and a runner-up trophy from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon, Massachusetts. And it's a strike for Jack Ray in the 4th.
Crossed over Brooklyn side that time. 1-2 pocket. Looked like he's going to be left with a 6-8-10. 6 and 10 go down, then the 8 for the strike.
The winner today will be back next week to take on number 2 seed Bob Moran.
Watch out here. He's got the 3-5. Piece of wood in behind the 3.
Nope. No chance on that one.
Good shot there, and the piece of wood behind might make that 3-pin fly right to the sidewall, not carry the 5. No problem as he hit it for the 10, but missed it for the spare.
Steve's still looking for his first mark. Steve got hot for 4 boxes at the end of the 2nd string last week, and that was enough to give him the win.
Here he has the diamond, 2, 4, and 8. 2, 4, 5, and 8.
Four 10s for Steve Vadney.
Oh, it's a good-looking ball. There's no doubt about it.
There really was no doubt about that one. That's a double for Jack Ray.
Going for the triple, and after he throws this ball, I'll tell you a unique story about Jack and his bowling.
He's got it.
And that is what I was going to talk about. He bowled on another show on the New England Sports Network. And of all the years I've been bowling, a number of bowling shows I've seen, he had 2 triple strikes in the same match, and his opponent also, Paul Wambach, he also had 1. 3 triple strikes in 1 match. Quite a feat. And here he's shows that it was no fluke. He throws a triple here in this show. 5-pin, tough wood. Able to convert.
First mark for Steve Vadney, and he'll need some now with that triple by Jack Ray.
They mount up fast when you throw those strikes in a row. Oh, light hit here.
Takes a 6.
Steve's going to find himself quite a few pins down. If Jack fills this, well, he's working on a double strike now. He had a triple. Good fill here, and he's going to be out quite a few pins out in front of Steve. Going for 4 in a row.
Little light that time.
2, 4, 5, 9, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6, and 9. Those pins are moving down there.
Yes.
He covers it for the spare.
A triple strike and then the diamond for a spare. And what a string Jack Ray is working on all of a sudden after having 3 open frames to start.
105 after 6, 115 plus this ball. this wood, he may have a makeable spare here. 6, 7, 10. No, the 6 pin, it looks to me, is going to be the problem pin. High in the wood. Drive it back. Oh, it was a 10. Nice try.
And it'll be a 9. 131 through 8. That's 102 pins in the last 5 boxes.
Goes to show you throw strikes and tie them together. Increases your score quite quickly.
Steve Vadney trailing by 40 now.
Well, Steve, the veteran he is, he's not going to roll up and play dead for Jack. Remember, a couple weeks ago, he was 30 pins behind against Rod Jarvis in about the first 6 boxes of the first string, or first half of the first string, and came back with double strike and 3 spares the last 5 to trail by only 1. So this match is a long ways from being over.
And there's why. A quick 20 for Steve Vadney in the 7th.
And the strike that he just threw is opposite a 9 box, so he'll be able to cut into that lead even more.
Jack Ray a little off target, but it's a spare lead with the 1-2.
Wants to hit the head pin, but he also wants to try to get by that piece of wood that's in front of the 2 pin. Like that. Nice shot, Jack. Nice shot. Just get by the wood. 141 plus a ball in the 9th.
Jack's high single is 220. And we were talking about it before the show. It's kind of an interesting story. He rolled it back in 1973 at the old Sunlight Alleys in Stoneham, Massachusetts. And Sunlight Alleys don't exist anymore. Folks in Stoneham will now see a drugstore in that location.
Knock the pins down, he knocked the building down.
Jack's high triple of 465 was also part of that same triple with the 220. Does he get it? Yes.
What a shot.
He deserved to get that one.
4, 7, 10. I thought he might play the wood out in front. He elected to go by, split the 4 and the 7. It jumps in front of the 10, just nudges it for the spare. Fantastic shot, Jack. 158 and a ball.
166 for Jack Ray. Outstanding opening string, helped, of course, by the triple strike. Steve Vadney now working on a strike of his own in the 8th, just trying to stay close if he can. That wood will probably roll off, and does.
Now he's going to have to play the 2-4. Nice try.
Yes.
Nice try. Nice shot.
Back door. 20 more for Steve Vadney.
Cut it just enough when up top, came back down off the side wall, and was enough to clip the 2 pin, the 3 pin for the spare. 115 and a ball in the 9th.
And another 6 drop. Whoa, how about that one?
Are we seeing some shot making here or what? Wow. Splits the 2 and the 4 here over into the 3 pin or 6 pin, and for the spare, 131 and a ball. And he could have been down. He could have been in real trouble. He's still going to be down, but he's made some great shots to get him back into the match here.
And another 6 drop, so it'll be a 137 for Steve Vadney. And what could have been, as Dan said, a huge deficit turns out to be just 29 pins. 166 for Jack Ray to Steve Vadney's 137. Back with the middle string and details on our home contest when we return. Trailing for the 3rd week in a row. He's been able to pull out the last 2. We'll see what happens here. He trails by 29 as we start the middle string.
And there's a lead we've seen quite a few times in the last few weeks. 3, 5, 6, 9, and 10. Hey, converts it for the spare.
Good shot for Steve. Actually, he has cut into the lead already. It peaked at 40 pins. And he got it down to 29 with a 4-mark flurry at the end of that first string. Beautiful pocket hit. Leaves the 8-9.
He had the 5-8-9 up at one time and knocked the 5 down. I think he probably wish he had stayed. Got a double piece of wood, though. That'll come off the sidewall. He gets it. Nice try.
Jack Ray. Looking for the spare, did not convert it.
All broke off to the left. Last minute, come in full on the head pin.
Takes an 8. And just like that, 10 pins of the lead are gone. Jack works at Marjam Supply in Woburn.
Spread eagle, 1, 3, 6, 10, and 2, 4, and 7 on the left. Let's see what she decides to do. Split the 3, 6 or the 2, 4. You go in 3, 6, and takes nothing but the 6. So he's in jeopardy of dropping a few more to Steve Vadney's 10 box. And he does 4 more.
A 6 box for Jack. And the lead now is 15. Steve Vadney with a 9 drop, leaving the 4 pin. And where will that wood stop?
Wants a clean shot at the 4, I'm sure. And that he will have.
Takes it for the spare, right on it. Mark number 7 for Steve in the match. 6 of them are spares.
We'll turn around from a couple weeks ago. He at one time had more strikes than spares. Today he's going the spare route. Oh, thin hit there, light hit. Leaves himself to 3, 9, and 10. Nothing easy about this shot. Left or right, 3 pins either got to go down and get the 9, 10, or the ball.
Well, Steve hangs another mark up there for Jack Ray to shoot at. Remember, Jack had that big 29-pin advantage coming in. After throwing an outstanding 166 in the first string. And he really didn't even get started till the 4th box, but then he got started in a big way with a triple strike. Well, now that lead is almost done.
22 of them back. 22 out of the 29. So it's down to 7.
Sometimes when you get to the end of a string like Jack had in that first one, you just want to keep going.
This looks worse than it is. He's got the 5, 8, and 10. It's got to be on the 5 pin, and I think maybe the wood will carry. Oh, just, whoa, you got the ball coming back. He actually missed the 5 pin. Just goes by the 5 pin here. The ball comes flying back. Clears the 5 for the spare.
Jack will take it. The spare in the 4th. 23 up, and Steve Vadney with a 54 through 4, getting closer. More from Sandy's after these messages. Slice away some of this lead that Jack Ray had coming in to this middle string. Steve dropped that one a little bit.
Well, he's got to go after the 610. Wants that wood to come up as far as it possibly will, but tried to split the 6 and the 10, and very nearly did.
The final roll-off for this particular ladder series was held at the Londonderry Bowling Center, and Bob Mazur won it to take the #1 seed position with a 682, followed very closely by next week's #2 seed, Bob Moran, who had a 681. Steve Vadney originally qualified for the show in this sequence as the #1 seed in his final roll-off, which was held at King's Lanes in Manchester, and Steve rolled a 710 in that roll-off. Most people would take that for 5, I guess.
Yeah. Well, that's a good-looking ball by Jack, but he leaves himself to 4 and the 10. Well, going to be some possibilities here. Wood in the 4-pin, cap of the wood in the 4-pin at the same time. Nice try.
Yes,
nice shot.
Indeed. That was a beauty.
Catches just enough that wood, send it over towards the 10-pin. Nice shot by Jack.
2 in a row.
And big 9-pin fill.
Oh,
Just saw that on the, well, if we had a camera behind him so we could show that approach too. He was just a little late getting his arm through and left the ball out to the right. See it just as he let it go, and had a long ways to come. It was going to break into the 5-pin, but never came up.
those marks in the 4th and 5th, though, gave Jack most of his lead back. It stands at 27 right now.
Four horsemen on the left plus the 10-pin. Trying to split the 1 and the 2.
Oh, he's got it. Had it all the way.
Nice shot. And both these bowls continue to show us how to make spares. Splits the 1 and the 2. Head pin goes down and gets the 10. Domino effect for the rest of them. Result, spare.
And a comebacker.
Oh, he's going to get them all.
This is going to go.
Oh.
No, it isn't. The pin, the wood, hit the 10-pin and the sidewall at the same time, and that froze it.
Steve's lucky to get away with the fill.
And that is not a spare. That will be a 9-box. Tough break there for Steve after getting a break on the fill.
Once the ball leaves the lane, without hitting a playable piece of wood, the ball becomes dead and doesn't count. Most people think it has to land in the gutter first, but that's not correct. As soon as it leaves the lane, and when you think about it, with the speed that the bowlers throw these balls, it's almost impossible to fall into the gutter. It usually flies off and hits the sidewall. I started to mention about Steve. We all know by now we tape more than one show in a day. I'm not making excuses for Steve, but he has that type of ball where it breaks from left to right. And if he doesn't maintain his speed, the ball will break a little sharper for him. That's what happened the last 2 balls, or the last couple boxes. The ball's breaking off to the right on him, a little more than usual, and that's why he missed that sphere. Got to maintain that speed.
Jack just catching the head pin that time and winds up with a 2-7.
2-7, and not an easy 2-7 either. Problem here is the 7-pin. Got to elect to clip the 2-pin clean or go against the wood. Ball's going to fly around the 7. Nice shot. Had to hit the wood high, turn it, push it back into the 4, and eventually the 7. Very well executed there. Nice shot. Was not as easy as Jack made it appear to be.
Steve Vadney for his final 2 now on the first string.
Very important for him to put a couple marks up here.
And he will have to show us a shot on this one.
The 1 and the 6 plus the back row. 7, 8. Well, 9 pins gone and a 10.
Steve may look back at that single pin in the 8th box that he missed for a spare.
No easy shot here. Gonna have to play the wood against the 3-pin. Hopefully the ball or another piece of wood goes over and gets a 7.
Yeah. Took a while, but it got over there.
The ball came flying back. The ball just missed the 7-pin. Then a piece of wood did come over and knock down the 7. Ball goes up, comes down, just misses. Piece of wood comes over. Nice shot. And I mean, more important is the mark. And again, ball breaking off to the right.
And just a 4 for a 122 for Steve Vadney. So Jack Ray will have a lead going into the 3rd string. It's just a question of how much.
He's got 90 in the 8th plus this ball. A little full. 4, 7, 9, 10. I think Jack will play this where the 2 pieces of wood meet. Hopefully he can get something to fly toward the 7 and the 4. And he went a little far left.
And Steve Decker is going to have to go down and check that piece of wood to make sure it is in play. And apparently it is not.
He's looking at it closely. It's close enough. The entire pin does not have to be over that line. All it has to do is touch it.
9 box for Jack. The lead stands at 26 right now. Jack is opposite a mark here in the 10th, but it was a mark 4, so even if he does not mark himself, it shouldn't hurt him too much. So the lead will be over 20. And it'll be more than that.
Same cluster of 5 we've been seeing quite often. Here he just buries it in the 3-6 pocket here and clears them all out for the spare. 7 to match Steve's 122 this game and maintain his 29-pin lead. Anything over 7, he'll increase it.
A little right and a 5 for a 120 second string. So he'll lose 2 here in string number 2. Totals will go up on the board, and they'll show Jack Ray with a 286 and Steve Vadney with a 259 and a 27-pin differential with 1 string to go, and we'll have it for you after we have these. 7-pin lead and 10 boxes in which to guard it. One 7 with some favorable wood, but Jack missed the head pin.
Jack looked like he had a little bit of a problem on his approach. Looked like he slipped on that first step a little bit. It's long from over.
Marks are almost even. Jack has 10. Steve has 9, but the difference, a triple strike for Jack Ray in the 4th, 5th, and 6th frames in the first string, and that's really the difference right now.
Covers the triangle there, 2, 4, 5. wood to help him out a little bit. I don't think he would have needed it.
Steve Vadney.
Ooh, just missed.
$10 for Steve. And he does not want to waste too much time before he starts marking.
No, he's 3 real good marks away from Jack, if not 4. He's down to 9 boxes. Jack's got one working for him in the second box.
That looked like it was going to be quite a bit better.
Yeah, it did. Looked like a good looking ball going in. Leads himself to 4, 8, and 10. He played the wood. That 8 pin is the problem pin, I think. He played it way high. He wanted to go almost right at the 8 pin. Steve will be the first to admit he doesn't look quite as sharp as he has the last few weeks.
Jack Ray will be working on a spare, and the lead is 28 plus this fill.
Steve doesn't look as sharp, and yet he's got 259 for 2. That's just under 130 average for 2 games.
Well, Jack has kind of an interesting problem here with the 2 and the 9. He's trying to direct the wood a little bit.
As long as we bowl that game, we really feel that works. Move this way, move that way, hold it.
Let's see.
Nice
yes,
shot.
That was a very, very tough shot.
Just clipped enough of that wood in front of the 10. 2, and the ball came back and made that so fast. Just barely caught it. Light hit here.
That 10 pin looks like it might be halfway off the edge of the lane.
6, 9, and 10, and the 7 pin over in the corner. So you probably play the 3. Hoping to skip something over right behind it. Nice try. Well, Steve is getting to the point where he's going to have to duplicate that 3 strikes that Jack did first game.
That's a 9 box for Jack. Oddly enough, Jack had the 3 strikes in a row in the first string. He hasn't had one since, but he has had 9 spares since then.
Well, if you had the option of getting 3 strikes in a match, whether, separate boxes or in a row, I'd probably take them right in a row. That's the difference. Of course, you mentioned 10 marks to 9. Now it's 12 to 9, but the difference is that triple strike.
Altogether, this is Steve Vadney's 8th appearance on Stars and Strikes. He has a record of 5 and 2 so far.
Well, this is going to be a test. 7 pin. He knows he has to get this mark. Box is starting to run out. The type of bowler he is, I think he's going to hit it right in the nose.
Well,
it wasn't on the nose, but
it counts the same.
On the cheek, anyways.
Spare up for Steve Vadney in the 4th. 53 for Jack Ray through 4. We'll see if there'll be a comeback or a new champion when we return. Don't go away. And of course is the challenger and rolling first in this 3rd string, so he wants to try and keep hanging some marks up there.
And again, that cluster of 5. This time he's got a piece of wood that I don't think is going to help the shot any. Oh, I take that back. He did use the wood, and successfully at that. Figured he'd try to go 3-6, but he just tops the wood, comes off the right side wall, and eventually they all go.
Pulls the fill for a half Worcester.
2 and 8. That had half Worcester as soon as he threw the ball. It had half Worcester written all over it. 2 fill.
And the conversion.
He elected to go inside of the head pin, left-hand side. The ball goes down, clears out the 4 and the 7. The head pin, the other pins do the rest of the damage. Right back. That was a big shot for Jack.
This is Steve Vadney's fill on his spare in the 4th, and it is only 6.
It's just, the ball's not really moving those pins around like they have been the last couple weeks.
Nine for Steve, and he trails now by 39. It's going to be very tough as he's opposite a spare in the 6th.
No, boy. Looked like a pretty good ball going in. It's a makeable shot with the wood, but it looked like he would have got a better pinfall than what he did. Played the wood in front of the 7 and the 5. Got that out of the way. Now he'll shoot for the 7 and the 10. No luck for Steve. He really wanted to go a little farther left.
It'll be an 8-box. And Jack Ray, meanwhile, is certainly on target for a 400 triple. Should reach that with ease. Three fill. A 2 fill in the 5th, and now a 3 fill here in the 6th.
It's the 3, the 5, and the 8. Middle 3 pins. And he comes right back. Yeah, falls backwards. He's going to have another spare.
Jack's probably very happy he has this big lead with those last 2 fills he's had. Right in the pocket that time.
8 pin, and one of the pins went to the left sidewalk, came right back between the 4 and the 7. Very nearly had the strike. 2 pins for the spare. And it's come down crunch time now for Steve Vadney. He's going to have to throw strikes now.
He has had only 1 in the match, and that was back in the 1st string.
No.
When things aren't going your way, it doesn't seem to matter how good a ball you throw.
No. You wonder why. The ball, you're throwing the ball a little tighter. It doesn't seem to get the pin action. It's hard to figure out sometimes.
Steve's studying that piece of wood in front of the 5, or just to the left of the 5.
He's going to have to try to play that. He did, and the ball flew by the 5, again by the 5.
Brooklyn side this time for Steve, and he'll look at the 3-5.
Yeah. Spares just aren't going to do it for Steve. He's got a tough piece of wood in between these 2 pins too. Now he played it far right, got it for the spare. Afraid it might be a little too late though.
This is on a spare for Jack Ray.
4, 7, and 8. Would turn just a little bit for him. I think if he goes right towards the 7 pin, he should carry it, and he does. That's going to be just about it for Jack and become our new champion.
Jack gets 2 of these pins, he'll clinch. And that'll do it.
Nice 10.
And it turns out to be a 10 backdoor. Very nice out. And a 127 for Jack. And a 3-string total, 413 rather. 413.
Oh boy. See, as long as I've been around this game, you'd think you'd figure it out after a while, but you can't. That looked like a pretty good ball there. Nothing came close to touching the 7 or the 10. Nice try. Last week they would have gone. You would have had 9-pin drop or a strike. This week, different week. You never know. I guess that's what makes this game a unique game of Candlepin bowling.
So Steve Vadney's run will end after 3 in a row, and there's the strike in the 10th, wouldn't you know it?
And then when it's lights out, and we always seem to come up. We relax or something, I don't know. But 5 in the 8, last 2 to go for the strike.
Oh, he's going to get a chance to throw one more ball.
Now, if we have these 2 balls up in the 5th and 6th boxes, we may have a different story on our hands, but unfortunately it's the last box, and mathematically he can't do anything. Going for the triple.
And it'll be 27 in the final box for Steve Vadney, and a 126 for the string. The totals will go up on the board as Carol Downey jots them up there for you. And Jack Ray with a 413 and Steve Vadney with a 385. Jack Ray is our new champion. We'll be back to talk to both bowlers and go for our home jackpot after these messages.